Hey, welcome to Bears Banner tonight. My name is Bernard Muhammad. Tonight on broadcast, we have Guy Moore, we got Dr. Quick, we got David Bird, and Keith Flournoy, also known as Plank. What's up, y'all?
What up?
Hey,
It's been a minute.
Root to the
I just want to say this is the Bears Banner Bros edition.
That's right.
And with featuring that guy named Guy who's just there.
Right.
That's all right.
Hey, Dave,
good brother.
Slide back a little bit. Top of your head cut off, Dave.
Oh, my bad. Yep. There you go.
There you go. Yeah, hey, Jay couldn't make it tonight. You know, they got him slaving him on that second shift, but he'll be back whenever he able to move off that second shift.
Right on. He's scared because I found out that he spent more time as a DB than a wide receiver.
I saw that.
Now he's scared to come on. So I'm going to put that out there.
You see that clipping? I saw that clipping. As soon as I saw that clip, it said defensive back. I said, "Ooh, play gonna love this one."
Me too. You know, I'm the only DB that I know of that had hands at receiver. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I played both ways too, brother. So you ain't know.
Wait, hold on. At Julian, we didn't get a chance to do anything both ways. We didn't do nothing both ways. We didn't.
We played both ways, Jack. So yep, I'm with you though. I'm with you.
Yeah, man.
Hey, we got a whole lot to talk about with the Bears. I mean, so much that transpired. I guess our star here is what's going on with Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze not signing the contract. Any concerns about that yet?
I say no.
Yeah.
Okay. At this point, you already know where rookies are slotted. There's some language in there that might give them a little bit more money at the end of the contract versus the beginning of the contract. I don't see it being anything that's going to stop them from being in camp at the beginning next week, because that would set a bad precedent, especially with all of the media following Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze. I think they'll be there, so I'm not overly concerned with it.
Yeah, I think they saving it. I think a lot of this they want to. I mean, they're gonna probably use Hard Knocks for some of this. You know what I mean? So they're probably gonna pump that up a little bit. Maybe do both of that signing. They might be working in tandem. I mean, you guys know that rookie contract is pretty much laid out as it is. You know, this ain't the contract where they can play a lot of games and reconstruct some of their contract. The next one though, yeah, but this one. I mean, those rookie contracts are pretty set in stone for the most part. You can only play with them so much, So I'm with Plank. I ain't worried about it. It's just they might just be going through the motions, and this might be a Hard Knocks type situation or something.
Hey, I call it is there honor amongst thieves in real time, and what I mean by that is this: y'all want to like when you touch the quarterback, and it's like, oh, it's in the grasp, and and all this other stuff, different provisions that they're making. The NFL is a business now. You can't just look at it from the play side and then just negate the player side. I mean, these guys are getting out here and they don't have the guaranteed contract like the basketball players, the baseball players. If I'm a football player and I know that I'm very good at what I do and I'm gonna be just a straight up dog, no pun intended, y'all. I'm gonna be a dog out there and do my thing, and I'm gonna be a professional. You want to negotiate the best contract you can. I don't see it's a problem at all. None.
Yeah, I don't see it as a problem either. I mean, it's pretty much slotted, and you're really not hearing any talk from them. I would be concerned if it was like them not showing up, right? Then I would be concerned. But they taking all their reps all during the off season and all that, so it's no concern. Like Plank said, it's probably just some language they want to address. No big deal.
Yeah, I agree. You know what? I also think that these guys were top pick. Like for example, Rome. Rome could have did just like Harrison and sat out the combine, and he went and balled out the combine. So give them some grace. Let them do their thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, as long as you show up for the first game, I don't care what you do in the offseason. They've been in OTAs. They've been working, and I'm sure they're working on the side. So, hey, just show up ready to play for the first game. You talking about practice?
I knew you were gonna go there.
I knew it too.
Man, I was a terrible practice player.
Hey, Iverson never fails with that, boy. Never.
Talking about practice. Yeah, they don't have much wiggle room. They're gonna sign. I mean, because you think about this, they're not gonna they're not gonna really sit out because they have so much to prove.
Yeah.
If it wasn't to the fact that they had some stuff to prove, they got Caleb Williams still got to prove, hey, I was the number one quarterback in this draft. I can lead the team. They set this team up for him to be successful. Omaduze, hey, I was the best receiver in this draft. So it's nothing to be concerned about.
Yeah, I agree, dog. I agree with you. I concur with all you guys, man. Like I said, it's the rookie contract. It's pretty set as it is. I mean, you really can't change that up. I mean, he might be able to do some language change, like Plank was talking about. Might be a few things, but it ain't a lot they can do with this rookie contract, man. It's
Right.
I mean, this is already a foregone conclusion. Hey, dude, it ain't a lot we can play with. Now that next contract, that's a whole different beast, boy. They're gonna be able to ask for whatever, depending on how they perform. That's when they're gonna make the big payday. So
Okay. Yeah, I want to transition to something else before we kind of get into deep into the Bears. I was laughing on social media yesterday in one of the Bears group. And matter of fact, shout out to Bears Banner Talk Show. Thank everybody who tuned in tonight to Bears Banner Talk Show.
Thank you.
Hit the subscribe button at the bottom if you're watching at YouTube. If you're watching on Twitch TV, hit the subscribe button. And also, we're going to be broadcast on LinkedIn. Anyway, I was watching. There was a comment on Facebook yesterday, and there was a picture of Khalil Mack, and I made this comment, and I'm gonna segue this into this conversation. And I said, you know what? Chicago fans are the only fans I know that can't let it go when a player is gone from the team. That we did dwell on it. So anyway, I guess I must have hit a couple of people with some rocks because they was mad. A couple people was like, hey, why are you in this group? You're not even a Bears fan. And anyway, it led to something else. And I'm saying I'm glad they tanked, because I got tired of watching mediocre teams. And that's why this year is exciting to watch because they actually tanked. And a couple people was like, man, you're not going to take that back? I mean, you actually glad they tanked? I said, I've been saying this for years. You are the type of fans that have kept the Bears in mediocrity. Because you are okay with those 8 years, those 7-9 teams, and those 9-7 teams, right, with the 16-game season. I said that's what they were. They was just a team that stayed in mediocrity because they kept players too long and they did enough to make you happy. I'm glad somebody finally came in and said, I want to put a winning product. So I wanted to segue into that is one of the excitements I think that's going into this season that we actually, I would say with Rome was the type of player that we would say, man, we wish the Bears could have drafted him.
Yeah.
Man,
I was happy. Man, he was the guy. I was on him from the beginning. I've been watching that kid play college football. I'm a college football guy. I watch college football. I know some people either do the NFL or they don't spend a lot of time watching college. I actually spend a lot of time watching both. And I was tracking Rome, and I was like, man, this is the dude that they're going to need. He's, and he's going to make them a better team. And I was like, when they drafted him, when I saw him coming down the list, I was like, man, we're going to get this dude. And I was unbelievably happy about that, man. And he's going to make them better. I mean, the Bears have done some really good things. But to your point, Nard, what the Bears want to be is similar to what the Pittsburgh Steelers have been for years. Consistent playoff. They make the playoffs every year. Now, they might not always get past the first round. They might not get to the AFC Championship every year. But them crews are consistent. They consistent, man. They there every dang on year. That's what we want from the Bears. We want a shot every year to compete. So to your point, that's what the Bears should be trying to emulate going forward. They should be you want to be the Steelers of the NFC. And when you stay healthy and you got all the stars lined up, you're going to be in that Super Bowl for that year or 2 years or whatever it might be. But you're going to always be a playoff team. That's what you want.
Hey, Bernard. I'm about to bring my friend back. I haven't had in a long time. This is for them guys on the board. This is exactly Bird is exactly the sentiments of real Bears fans. Real Bears fans will know that Rome Odunze has got this one talent. The talent is this: if he's running in a flat or he's running on a go, instead of trying to catch the ball like that, he's running and snatching it, so he's not losing momentum. Why do I say that? Because real Bears fans understand why Mac is gone. They understand why Bernard said that he was glad that they tanked, because you're tired of looking at a team, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, we were 11-5 or whatever it was, we were 12-5, we were great and all that stuff. Then we sucked and sucked more and sucked more. I would rather go to the playoffs every year with a shot to even try to get there and lose than to do this up and down roller coaster stuff. The problem with the narrative on a lot of these fans is a lot of these fans either never played any type of sport past 7th grade. They'll look at a guy that throws an interception or drops a pass and say, he was wide open, and don't really understand the nuances of the game. They don't want better. They want to sell their narrative. And then as soon as you find out their narrative is wrong, they'll flip it up and they'll say, well, see, Bernard said such and such. I can't even go no more because I'm getting hot. I'm with you, Bernard. I'm with you.
Hey, from my standpoint, okay, first of all, they wanted to get Khalil Mack. I guess Brian Urlacher wasn't available or something like that. We can't keep going back to the past and getting these old guys to play. Old guys are old guys. A couple things I want to make sure I commented on. Congratulations to everybody. It's the 5th year of Bears Fans Talk Show.
Yes, sir.
Jay, 5 years we've been doing this, and I'm looking forward to continuing to do this. I got to give my hat off to Dr. Quick, who said years ago, trust
the process.
That's exactly what he said. That's exactly what he was talking about. We got all angry about Bears losing this game or that game. Now we can start seeing exactly what Ryan Poles is putting together. Yep. This year, I'm expecting us to have a very good year. We got a good, strong foundation. And from my perspective, one of the things that I think is going to happen this year is this bandwagon we on is about to get really heavy. We had a lot of people jumping off and not being Bears fan and sneaking into Green Bay games and stuff like that. We're going to start seeing the difference when the Chicago Bears are strong. The entire NFL is much more entertaining to watch. So let's see what we got with that.
Right on.
Yes, sir. Hey, the Bears have made some changes, and I know Caleb is a star. And I don't know what his production is going to be. I can't predict that or nothing like that. But I can tell you Caleb is a star. Caleb is the guy that lights up a room. And those guys in that locker room, right now, from what I can tell from a distance, they love Caleb. Caleb is the guy that's probably going to show up to anything their family has. He's going to show up to their charity events and stuff like that. So because Caleb is such a star, it has kind of overshadowed that the Bears have actually got a new offensive coordinator and a new defensive coordinator in one sense. I mean, the only reason Shane Waldron is brought up is right now is only in reference to the quarterback, right? He's not brought up as much. It's just like Eric Washington, run your chapter bros, right, Dave?
Gamma, baby, hard as a hammer.
Okay.
Woo!
Okay.
Yeah, that's Corey and Ronnie's LB.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yep.
Hey, Dave, what do you expect as far as what do Eric bring? I thought about that. What did Eric bring to the table? What do you expect to see out of him?
Well, I think his biggest thing is going to be the impact he'll have on the defensive line. That's his expertise, and hopefully he'll get a lot more out of the D-line because, to be honest with you, that's the area that I'm most concerned about. I think I'm sure you guys probably feel the same way. The D-line, we got to have – if we can't get pressure on the quarterback without blitzing, that's the perfect scenario. If you can get pressure without, bringing your backers or bringing your safeties or whatever, you're really ahead of the game. But if we got to bring our backers all the time just to get pressure, I mean, now you're playing a chess match with the other offensive, coordinator and quarterback, and that might not always work out. So I think Nardo, that's where he's gonna make the biggest impact is maybe, how the defensive line starts to gel and these second year defensive linemen, helping them make that next jump. So that's his expertise, Nard. I hope he, I got all the faith in the world in Dog. And I know he's been a career coach. I mean, he's been doing, he went to a lot of different teams. He's a professional coach though. I mean, he's going to do what needs to be done. His work ethic is beyond reproach. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do with those second year D linemen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I'm really looking for Dexter.
Yep.
I thought Dexter started coming on late in the year, and I'm expecting him to be very impactful this year. I mean, y'all got any comments of what y'all think about like the change in offensive coordinator, change in defensive coordinator?
Yeah, part of the reason I'm so excited this year is because if we look at it from a position group standpoint, the Bears have 3 very good position groups and a couple that still need work. So wide receivers, this is an A+ rating with DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Rome Odunze. DBs, Jalen Johnson, Brisker. These got Kevin Barnard. This is also an A group. The other good group that we're talking about here is the special teams. Strangely enough, Jonathan Owens is going to make a difference as a outside gunner. I'm looking forward to that. Now, our weakest teams, our offensive and defensive line. That doesn't mean that we're necessarily bad, but we're not as strong and we don't have all the positions taken care of. That center position, we got a lot of different people that are vying to see who's going to start and what they're going to do. There's still a couple people that are available. The defensive line, not quite sure what we got there. Oh, by the way, we also have a very strong linebacker group. Don't sleep on Jack Sanborn. Even though he's the number 3 linebacker, this kid is ready to go too. So I kind of like how the entire team is coming together, and it's really exciting for the first time in quite a while, being able to count on offense and actually watch the offense play. I haven't heard that for a couple of years. Don't forget about the punter. I know people were upset about that draft pick. Let me tell you, that punting game, I mean, you guys know, we all play football, man. If you got somebody who can flip the field for you, I mean, you're ahead of the game, man. Especially, Plank, all of us, Dog, we play defense. So ain't nothing worse than having your back, towards that end zone right away, man. Make them drive 80 yards. If you're going to score, you're going to have to drive 85 yards on us without making one mistake. Right.
I mean, we got ball hawks in that defensive backfield, like Plank said. Kyler Gordon, don't sleep on him. That dude is playing the nickel. That's probably one of the hardest defensive back positions to play. People talk about, corner. Man, try playing nickel where a guy, where they can go either way on you. Where the receiver can go either way, man. It's hard as hell to play in that slot when you got to cover the slot receiver. So I think Kyler going to have a great year. At the end of the day, we all know, everybody understands they got to stay healthy. The healthiest team that comes out of training camp is going to be ahead of the game. So, and then look, the Bears are the only franchise who have never had a 4,000-yard passer. Never. We the only ones. Only ones. The Bears. And, man, I'm hoping it might not happen this year, but I guarantee you between the next 3 years that dude's going to eclipse 4,000. It might not be this year because he got a lot of growing pains. I mean, people are going to blitz the shit out of him. I mean, he going to, you know what I'm saying? He going to get a lot of heat. And he going to have to make the right decisions. Sometimes he going to make some bad ones. But we just can't lose our mind when he throw a pick six because he going to throw one. You might as well get your mind set. It ain't, you think this kid going to go out there and just be perfect and immaculate every game, it ain't going to happen. But at the end of the day, he got some veterans around him. I think that offensive line is going to come together. They got, I think somebody said it earlier about the excitement in this year's season. I haven't been this excited for a Bears season, man. I mean, I can't remember the last time. It probably go back to, it had to be when Urlacher and them was here.
Yeah. Same thing with me.
Gonna say Bob Avellini or something.
Yeah, I was gonna go back to Vince Evans, man. But But you know what? I know you guys feel. I know you guys feel the same excitement, man. Because
definitely.
You know, what I mean, it's like, what is it? 8 days, 7 days now? 8 days for camp open. Man, and I'm gonna go out there and watch a couple of practices because I just want to see how things look close up too.
Okay.
Well, Caleb's
I got a question. Quick. What do you think about the position group as far as the defensive backs? What's your take on that?
Well, we go into something that says iron sharpens iron, and those guys are all playing off of each other. Hell, they even made Jalen Johnson get some interceptions last year. So what happens is when one guy is playing well, everybody feeds off of that one guy to want to be that guy, and so they're just playing well. I remember a couple years ago with guys, brother-in-law Buster Screen, when he was here, we couldn't cover anybody, and so the onus is on the defensive line to stop the run. And if we can stop the run and put people in passing situations, because you got to remember too, the secondary includes the linebackers who had a lot of interceptions. So our back seven are playing well right now. And it's going to be real interesting to look and see this year because we have to stop the run. And on the flip side, on offense, we're going to have to run the ball. So I think they said that the Bears were up to get David Benatari. I forgot how you say his name. The Packers. Yeah.
Oh, the offensive lineman? Yeah.
Yeah, he went to he's from here too. So he's from Woodstock area. He went to what's that school? Whatever it is, the red and blue out there in Woodstock, the Catholic school.
Okay.
So he's from there. So if we can then somebody gonna get mad at me because their boy ain't gonna be playing left tackle, and all, Hey, I'm gonna say this, Nutty. Everything that happened with the Bears, I called it. From everybody getting cut, everybody getting released, everybody getting traded. I had to go in witness protection for about a year and a half because they all, they was like, no, they denied me 3 times, but we are in a better place as a football team and as a football organization because of the changes. Now, going back to what you said earlier, people are scared of change. They're scared of change. People live their life in mediocrity because they don't want to change. They don't want to have no confrontation. They are fine just walking straight like this. They don't want to do anything else. They just want to, I'm fine with this. I'm fine with 9 wins. I'm fine with that. Long as my player that I could root for and I bought his jersey is still here, I'm fine with that. But we have an opportunity to have a playoff team, like Bird said, and we can go from there.
Yeah.
Good point.
Guy is our exit and O's guy, and guy from watching Shane Waldron offense. I mean, what do you expect to see from the Bears offensively?
You know what? Here's something interesting. I don't know. I saw one of the snippets of the Hard Knocks, and what you think about is not just the execution, but you try to see what the mindset is. My guy Caleb, who's going to be a spokesperson for Real Men Wear Mauve, and people go buy it. You know what? What I loved about what he said, because Daboll interviewed him, and he says, okay, you get 70 plays. Out of 70 plays, 45 are going to be passing. If you could pick one play that you had to run 45 times, this dude got on the board, and I'm just sitting up here looking at him, and it wasn't the fact that he drew the play. It's just one play that he used to run with Brett Favre all the time. And what it was when he put it out there, it wasn't that he's thinking, oh, I got a 4-3 guy here, I got a 4-5 guy. It's like you drop him on an island with some receivers, and he's a quarterback what play can I do regardless? And what he's doing, and what his mindset was, he's using different routes with the receivers to create mismatches and like chess things, to whereas if you come in here and guard this guy, he makes this wrinkle. You might have a guy go skinny here. You might have a guy go flat right here. But that particular play that he ran, you can run it with any three receivers in the NFL, and it'll work every time if you get the ball. What I like about Waldron is I think that with Caleb is he's going to actually have a circumstance where he can probably open his playbook up a little more. I think that he trusts him because Caleb seems like he digests stuff real fast and on the fly. And what I did notice about what I do like about Caleb is Caleb would be like, look, I'm either throw it out of bounds or somebody go hit me with a pick, but I'm going to make a decision just like that. And that's going to cut down a lot of sacks. Now, how does that tie into the offensive line? If you guys think about it, we finished up like, 5-2, 5-3? Guys were getting healthy. Yeah. And really the one glaring thing that we had was a center. Mm-hmm. We get a center in there that's even me or Patrick, I pick me, we probably win. You know, I do believe with what Waldron has, though, I think that now he's not going to be afraid to say, okay, well, I don't know if I can run this play. I think he's very comfortable with throwing a play out there to Caleb and knowing that he can not only execute it, but make the right read.
Right. Yeah. And then you got to think, and that's a good point, guy. Think about this, though. This was one of the things that get me excited about the offense as well, is that you got to think about their third defender, whoever that third defender on the other team is going to be probably up against the doomsday. That's going to be, and he's really, just because he has like number one receiver skills, he just doesn't have experience. But just imagine that. And then even worse, what people don't realize, and this is what I can't wait to see, is that who's going to handle Kmet going down the middle of the field?
Exactly.
That is a mismatch all day long. They got to worry about all their best defenders are going to be covering DJ Moore, Keenan, and Doomsday. Who they going to put on Kmet? That guy is going to make an impact this year. I guarantee you that dude will probably end up with 8 touchdowns at least.
And you're scared. You're freaking him out because guess what? Something that, because TJ Houshmandzadeh worked with Rome.
Right.
And Rome, he reached out to him, and Keyshawn was asking about, what do you think? He said, he's a big dude. He's a real big dude. He's a legit 6'3", 220, 215, 220 guy. So imagine you got Keenan Allen, you got DJ Moore, and these are like your stud veterans, not like no good receivers, but stud receivers. And your downside is, we're going to pick on Rome Odunze. And the dude got some, like I said, one thing that TJ said, which was interesting to him, is this guy's running in the flat and you're throwing a dime to him instead of him just sticking his hands out or doing this. He's running and snatching it, so he's not losing his momentum, trying to drag a guy down like that. I mean, man, I can't wait. I cannot wait to have Jay on here, because Jay will be like the greatest Bears receiver fanboy in the history of. I just let him talk about it. I was just letting him.
What you got, play?
To that point, Shane Waldron, one of the things he likes running is a lot of 12 personnel, where you got 2 receivers and you got 2 tight ends and all of that. Between Everett and Kmet, that's going to add a new dimension, especially for running back. One of the overrated players we already got is Swift. As a running back, he's going to bring some things to the Bears offense that we haven't seen and haven't been used to in a lot of time. He's bringing another element of speed, as well as the ability to pass block, as well as the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. So, it's really getting scary how many different things we're going to be able to bring offensively to the Bears. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of this come together. Again, my major concern is the offensive line. I'm concerned about Nate Davis. I'm not sure what exactly is going on with him.
Right.
But, and we've got enough secondary and tertiary offensive linemen to kind of overcome whatever weakness he might have, even if we end up trading him out or something like that. So I'm excited to watch offense this year.
Yeah, hey, one of the viewers, Andre, thanks for tuning in and sending a question. Andre asked, does Shane Waldron run the ball a lot? he actually does run the ball a lot.
Yeah.
And I give the Bears credit that the Bears have a nice stacked backfield. And unfortunately, last year, every back on the team got hurt at one point. So you can never have too many backs because I want to say, yeah, everybody got hurt. I mean, all three guys all end up sitting out various games. So the Bears definitely Waldron do run a lot, and I think they have the people to get the ball going. And the best friend to a rookie quarterback is running the ball. I mean, my concern will be Nate Davis, and not that Nate Davis is not able. I've been saying this for about a year. Do he want to play? Right, that'd be my question. Do he want to play? But I heard some positive things also about the offensive line.
Yeah,
Jenkins was talking about that the offense that they're running now, there's a lot of double teams that's going on now.
Yeah,
and also that the offensive linemen are going to help the quarterback more with calling the protections. And last year, that actually was a concern of mine. And then I thought we had calling protections issues, right? Calling them, right? There was times when I would look at a game and I was like, I don't see how the quarterback knows what protection they're in because he haven't even identified the mic. Right. And if it's a pass,
there it is, right there.
There it is. And you know what?
To see something. So I'm glad to hear the offensive lineman talking about that, right?
Yeah.
A rookie quarterback transition versus kind of leaving him on the island by himself.
But Nardo, that goes right back to what we were talking about with the center play. Mm-hmm. That's the key. I mean, when Olin Kreutz was there, man, he called out all assignments.
Yep.
I mean, and we haven't had a center that efficient since him. Like we have not had anyone like on that type of just playing. That he was such a good. I mean, he was an excellent ball player. Don't get me wrong, but he was smart. He knew protection. He was calling things out. He put people in the right place. So that's why that center position is going to be so important. And then, Waldron's going to run a lot of 12 personnel. So you got one back, two tight ends. Yeah. He runs a lot of that. And that's why they brought that other tight end from the Chargers, because they're going to need that 12 personnel. They're going to use it a lot. And, at the end of the day, what I hope to see is that, the Bears get ahead in a lot of these games, and then they can, maybe they can run the ball and run that clock out. Hopefully that's what the fourth quarter will look like for us. That'll be great instead of us trying to come from behind. I hope that's the case. But, the key, we're going to have to watch the center play. We really need to concentrate on that a little bit because, as you already just stated, Nardo, you were worried about the protection calls, and that comes from the center. So, I mean, if we don't have a good center there and who's doing his job effectively, we might be in trouble.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things that we got to look at as well, we have some seasoned veteran coordinators. All right. Mm-hmm. So even with Washington being the coordinator, Eberflus was the coordinator by default last year. And once you notice, these guys have been around the game for a long time. There are people now, because I don't even know who was talking to Justin when he was, would come on to the sideline and try to get him any kind of advice. But now you have people in place that can actually talk to the team, and they could, they trust the coordinators because they've been around for so long. And these guys actually came from winning programs too. Mm-hmm. So those are the best things that we have going right now. I think what Dog brings to the Bears as well is that he's a leader, and these guys are going to start taking accountability for what's going on in the product that they put on the field. But my question, as I ask for every time we come on here on offense, who do you double? Who do you double? You can't double team anybody, right? And, I've said for years, I call Cole Kmet 7-11 because he always open.
Always open,
right on.
Yeah. So now, just think about what we have now. he's gonna be really open. Like who? I mean, it's gonna be interesting to watch. It should be fun to watch. It may take a while to really put it together, and put the finished product together, but it's gonna be scary to watch toward the middle of the season.
Dog,
Mike,
we ain't even
Mike,
talked
quick
about Swift.
point.
We ain't even talked about Swift yet. We ain't even talked about him.
I had a dream about him, man. I had a dream about Swift.
Whoa! Wait, stop right there. Stop right there.
It's a football play dream.
All right, because hey, man,
I had a dream.
scaring me right now, bro.
Now remember this thing. Satchel Paige had this thing where he told the outfielders just like sit down. I had this dream that Caleb Williams had all the wide receivers sit down and they kept running the wheel route to Swift and they couldn't stop him. It's like, that's all I got. But what you were saying, though, Bernard, which is really interesting, is I saw this thing on Jenkins too, and one of the first things that he talked about was neutralizing the mic. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, wow. So, yeah, man, we've touched on so many different things, man. The possibilities are going to be endless. I'm very, very excited. I don't think we've been this excited. When we think about the offensive line and like really one of the cogs that we have as a center, I do believe that we're going to get somebody that's serviceable. And I hate to say it, but I can say it because I'm a Bears fan. Whoever we get going to be better than Patrick.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. You know what the
right
Bears?
here. So, actually, if you're looking at it, we got Ryan Bates, who's already an upgrade. If nothing else, I don't know how well he's going to work out as center, but from an offensive lineman, this dude is nasty. And you also got Coleman Shelton, who was already got a ring with LA as a center, so that's going to be a good thing. A couple other things I've heard out there is that we've got an opportunity to go after Connor Williams. He's a center that's he gave up in like 500 plays. He gave up 1 sack. He's coming off an injury, but it might be there's been some talk out there that we might be able to get him, as well as from a defensive end standpoint, Yannick Ngakoue still out there.
I was just going to say, yep.
He's got to be better than whatever else we got out there, and I'm a little bit concerned. We put a lot of pressure on Dexter. Nobody said anything about Pickens. Pickens is a second-round draft choice too. At some point, we got to be expecting some of the homegrown talent to start showing that they actually belong. So I'm looking forward to some of the guys that we've drafted already in the program to see if they can actually show up on Sunday and bring us some different stuff.
What do y'all think about the Yale guy? Kieran was Amagadije.
He's big. He's big, so I don't know.
I think that's a long-term project, guy. I'll be honest with you. I think I believe me, I got all the faith in the world that he's going to be a good ball player. I wouldn't expect a lot from him this year. He had some injuries. He hadn't played a little bit. But hey, the future's bright. Put it that way for him. But I just wouldn't expect a lot from him. But I like I said, guys, man, I think like Dog said, who you gonna double, man? That offensive man. If I was a defensive coordinator, I'm like, man, who? And that was Bill Belichick's game. He took their best player on the other team away. He's like, you're gonna beat me with somebody else. Yeah. But in this case, you take away Keenan, then fine, we're gonna beat you with DJ Moore. I mean, there's and Adunze, man, and Komet. All these are solid ball players, man. These ain't chumps. So you could try to take away one, offensive target from the Bears away if you want to do that. But man, like Dog said, who you gonna double? I mean, it's almost. I mean, and then you're gonna get Swift one-on-one with linebackers. And man, I'm telling you, that's a win for the Bears every time.
That's really scary.
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody who tuned in tonight to Bears Banner Talk Show on YouTube and Facebook, TV, LinkedIn. You know what? I hope the Bears are able to do this year that they haven't been able to do the last several years is throw the ball in the middle of the field. It opens up so much when you could throw the ball in the middle of the fields, when you could throw quick slants, right? When you could throw crossing routes, right? But if you got to throw screens all the times or quick outs, or you got to roll your quarterback out to cut off half the field, it limits your offense so much because when you roll, if you're only looking at half the field, then at the most part, all you either running high low routes or something like that. Other than that, there's only one read, and you may either run the ball or throw it away if that's not there. If you could stay in the middle of the field as a quarterback and go through your progressions, and like I said, if you could throw in the middle of the field too, man, it opens up so much because now Cole Kmet even is more dangerous, right? Because who's going to guard him? But if you never throw in the middle of the field, then maybe you catch 50 passes or something like that. I'm talking like a Cole Kmet. But if you're throwing in the middle of the field, your tight end, I mean, you got a 6'6" tight end in a 6'3" slot receiver in Odunze. And I believe Kenan Allen is 6'2"?
Yeah.
I mean, and these are not like slow big guys. These are fast big guys. And I think this is one of the excitements for me with the Bears team is the Bears team has speed. And I know a lot of us who were like 80s babies as far as watching the 80s football, and we watch football transition. And I continue to say this. If you're still living in those days when your middle linebacker is the highest paid guy, you're probably not going to make it far in football. That's not the way NFL is played now. Your highest paid player cannot be your middle linebacker. Your highest play, it has to be your quarterback. But your offense, even though we know defense win championship, your offense has to click. See, we done watched a bunch of years of the Bears with great defenses, right? And that get them to a playoff game like once every 5 years. So maybe the Bears make the playoff 2 times every 10 years, 3 at the most, right? And almost in those scenarios, they always almost automatically bounce the first round. And a lot of times it comes down to the offense not being able to be productive enough. Yeah. So I'm excited about the Bears doing this. And I'm also excited about that punter. And I think that's going to be so key because with that new kickoff rule, the new kickoff rule, it's lending itself to teams actually have to plot for that. It's some players now that's going to be on that kickoff team that they're expecting to do something, right? It's not going to just be those guys where they say, they're just going to kick it out of the end zone and we just put Ennio back there. No, they're not going to do that. Some of your better tacklers may have to be out there on the kickoff, and that punter is going to matter because teams may be starting with better field position, and they may punt the ball and pin you back. And if you don't get a first down and you have to punt and you pin back maybe on your 5 or 10, when you got a punter like that could swing that field back, I mean, that's important.
Yeah, Bernard, I'm really excited. I keep saying excited because I guess my vocabulary is limited today or whatever. But if we go back to 2,000 years ago from the Art of War, Sun Tzu, he said invincibility lies in the defense, the chance of victory in the offense. This particular year, we actually have a defense that we can put out that's going to be formidable, that can stop people, and an offense that we can put out that can actually score points. We were the lowest rated team in the NFL as far as throwing passes for over 200 yards last year. The last 3 years, if you really look at it. So as much as we like Justin Fields as a person and we like what he brought to bear, he really wasn't getting it done where we needed to get it done from a team's perspective. So I'm expecting to see something new from Caleb Williams, as well as the offense that's being put together by Shane Waldron. So I'm expecting to watch the whole game and be excited about what the Bears put out there on the field.
I'm with you, Plank, and I know I see Andre asked the question. He want to know what we think about the head coach and if he's ready for prime time. Hey, Andre, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that's something that we're gonna have to wait and see. This guy, I mean, he seems to know his players really well. I think they really love this dude. They like the way he runs the team. We'll see. We'll see if he can win these big games. He hadn't shown up to this point, but he also didn't have the firepower that he has now. So hopefully he'll stay out of the way of the offensive coordinator because he's not an offensive coach. He should just get this butt out of the way, help out on defense, make sure that the team is doing the things that they're supposed to do during the week, prepare them for the game, and then on game day, let the coordinators run the team. And you just oversee that and be ready for those crucial decisions within 4 to 5 minutes of the fourth quarter and any other time in between that, where a head coach is supposed to step in and make a difference. But we're going to have to see, Andre, man. The jury is out on him as a head coach, but he's got a lot. Look, there are no excuses. I can tell you that after this year. He has he has offensive personnel right now that's probably some of the best in the league. He's got a defensive back seven that's probably in the top five in the league in that back seven. So he only, and he's got a great punter. So at the end of the day, I guess we'll just have to see what he does, man. I'm looking forward to those first 2 or 3 games, and then we'll see how he handles those first 2 or 3 games, especially that Houston game. Mm-hmm. That Houston game, I'm looking forward to seeing how he handles that. They'll be on the road. It's a Sunday night game, prime time. We'll see what he does then, Andre, because, you talk about prime time, that's it.
Yeah, I like to see him manage the games better this year. When I say manage the games, timeout was always a pet peeve with me. Him not using timeouts. I mean, like he would go to halftime with all the timeouts, and I like Coach Flus, so I'm not saying it's like I'm hating on Coach Flus.
I do too. Yeah.
But I do know he needs to manage the game better, and bringing in a defensive coordinator that should allow him, as long as he stay out of the way, that should allow him to be able to watch the game and know when to throw your challenges, and all that becomes part of how you manage the game and what's going on, because there was times maybe there should have been a challenge and there wasn't. There was times where maybe a team is driving and they just got your team with, on the
heel. Timeout. You need a timeout.
Yeah. Correct. Call the timeout and you let the guys get a little break, and then you kind of figure out and talk to the defensive coordinator on what you need to do. So I like to see him manage the game better this year.
And you know what, Nard? It's so hard. It's hard to do that when you're doing multiple things, right? Yeah. That's why the head coach should be the head coach. You can see things, if you're calling plays, you get caught up in calling plays. You trying to think of the next play and the play. When you call plays, you calling ahead of the game. Like you got to be 5-6 plays ahead, right? How you gonna? Who's gonna tell the coach, "Hey, coach, guys need a break." So exactly what you're saying is, if you have someone that you trust in your coordinated position, let them do their job, and then you, as a head coach, can oversee and you can step in and tap the coordinator on the shoulder, "Hey, man, I'm gonna call a timeout. The dudes look whipped right now, man. They're getting pushed all over the field, So I'm hoping that he can learn to do those things. I hope the people that he have upstairs that he trusts when it comes to those challenge situations, because to be honest with you, there's somebody in the booth upstairs looking at this saying, "Hey, you got to trust them dudes. Hey, coach, we should challenge this, So hopefully, like you said, Nardo, that he's able to do those things this year. And like I said, it's going to be apparent pretty early, man. Like I said, that second game, that Houston game, man, we'll see. We'll see where we are. Preseason, we will be able to see a little bit of it. But, man, that second that game against Houston, man, that's the one I got marked on my calendar. I want to see how they do against a team like Houston.
Yeah, hey, Plank, you had something, Plank? Like you're about to say something. You're coming to you after that.
At the very least, he's starting the year with the expectation that he's going to be the defensive coordinator and the coach. Last year, the first 2 games, he thought he was just going to have one responsibility. Then all of a sudden, you had all of these issues with HR between 2 coaches, and he got thrown in the middle of it. That's why, those first 2-3 games the Bears had, their defense was actually horrible.
It was, yeah.
And we continued to get better, not just because of sweat or whatever, because, there was an expectation that he knew what he was going to be hit with. It's like you in a biology class and you come in on Tuesday and the teacher tell you it's a pop quiz. That's a different test than me studying for a test ahead of time. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, what you got, Quick? I know you're gonna like this question here.
Uh-oh.
Velvet. Oh,
Hey
velvet.
man, listen. We need to play football players in the game. And he's shown time and time again that he is not a football player. But I mean, every team got a bust on it, even if they're in the league. It's just where is he? He's not gonna line up at receiver as much. His only thing is to try to be a returner, because I think they'll put in Equinemius before they put in Jones at receiver. He's not a football player for me, man. He's terrible.
And you know what? I'm sorry, guy. We're gonna come back to you. And you know what? With all the upgrades at receiver, you know who's the lost fan in this conversation?
Scott,
the rookie they drafted last year. Scott. Yeah, Scott.
Yeah.
like this.
What you have, guy?
No, I was gonna say this year we can concentrate the TFL tackles for loss. Last year was touchy-feely likely. So we had to deal with that HR part. And I was going to tell y'all, if you guys are willing, I have a store on eBay. I got like 15 of timeouts from last year. I'm selling for like $9 a pop.
I know that's right.
That's all I got.
Yeah, he was treating them like rollover minutes or something. You'd be like, dude, call a timeout just because you can. Just
Right.
timeout.
It's like the personal days, man. It's like,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he must have had a real weird job coming up, man. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna be able to roll over this personal time.
I know, like a rough IRA.
Hey, that's hilarious, man.
I hate watching the game. Like the last 5 minutes of the game, I'm like, I know this dude ain't finna call a timeout, and it's like guys out there gassed, and he go into the locker room every time with 3 timeouts left in the first half.
Yeah.
Like, what
You're
are
right,
you
dog.
doing, man?
Don't you remind that old man to be at the store and he sees something? How much this chicken? $4.99? And pull out $1. It's like he just don't want to pull the trigger, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he got out coached a lot, man. That's the thing we gotta. I mean, Green Bay's coach is fantastic, man. So, man, that's I hope he steps up, man. We can't. I mean, I hate for them to lose a game where they got out coached, Joe.
Right.
It's different if you lose a game. Hey, man, the dudes were better, fine, whatever. But man, to get out coached, man.
When your coaching is inept, it even makes the head coach look suspect. You got all these different components in here, and if they're allowed to do their job and they're very efficient, then the coach just has to, just basically do his job. I think Flus might be in a good set of circumstances because he has a coaching staff like offensive and defensive guys who can really actually walk up to him and tell him something, and he will be receptive to it. You know what I'm saying? Because, man, we go. I think they're gonna be just immeasurable for us, and I think that a lot of times with that success. Now you're going to see, just like the general people that don't understand football, oh, I told you Flus was a great coach. He's such and such. Just like he's not saying he's not a great coach. It's just you had Getsy and, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to some of the things, the takeaways I know for sure. They got to split with Green Bay. If I'm talking about, I'm just saying if they want to make the playoffs, they got to split with Green Bay. Have to. They got to split with Detroit. I mean, you know what I mean? And then they got to take both of those Vikings games. They got to win both of those and split those other two at least, if they want to make it to the playoffs, man. They can't get swept by those guys at all. Either one, Detroit or Green Bay. I'm telling you, man, it's and they can't lose to the Vikings, man. The Vikings ain't ready. The Vikings should not be playing with the Bears this year. They just should. But I mean, it's just those are some of the key takeaways for, when you start talking about conference play, we talk about your division, man, I mean, we got to beat the Pack. Either, I'm hoping we should be able to get them at home, but we don't play them until late in the season, man. So I mean, and I guess that's when the injury is going to come into play, right? I mean, of course, you can get hurt anytime. Some people blow the ACL on the first play of the damn season, whatever. But I'm hoping we stay healthy because by the end of it, when we start playing conference schedule, in the division schedule, man, it's going to be late,
Yeah.
So
you know what? Defensively, we haven't mentioned Montez Sweat. Montez Sweat was a great addition to the Bears last year. Bringing Montez Sweat, and it's interesting on how, as fans, how we look at stuff in different ways. All of us as fans, and I can't remember the guy's other name. What's the other guy's name? Chase Young.
Yeah.
And I can remember when the Bears, when those two was up for, they was gonna be traded, and it was so many fans that was like, we need to get Chase Young. And then when the Bears got Montez Sweat, there was a group of us who was happy. Then there was a group of Bears fans like, I don't know what they're doing, getting Montez Sweat. This makes absolutely no sense, right? I can remember people saying that, right? That this makes absolutely no. Montez Sweat to me was the key to them making that, what guys said, I think finished the season 5-3. He was really the key to it. And I know people may argue a little bit on how they saw those blown games. I know everybody different on how they saw those blown games. But I'll just say this is how I saw the blown games. Is offensively, you have to keep doing your job. You can't go to almost zero production in the fourth quarter. That's the key to offense, right? It's just like a boxing match. It reminds me of the De La Hoya fight when he fought Trinidad. Just because you get off to a good start and you start counting rounds in your head, right? Like, man, I done won 7, but you know what?
Oh, you're talking Mayweather, yeah.
The rest might have saw 2 of those rounds different than what you saw, and you start conceding. To me in that fight, he started conceding rounds to Trinidad because he thought he won. And that's how I can say, as an offense, you cannot be up in the game and then all of a sudden you're not doing anything. You're not getting first downs, because just as many points that you could get in a half of a game, like I'll take the Washington game. Not Washington game because they beat Washington. The Broncos game.
Denver.
You got 28 points, and I think he had 21 by halftime. That other team could get 21 points themselves in the second half. So
they did.
You have to stay on course, and then also with defense are getting you turnovers, you gotta capitalize on them. You cannot get turnovers and end up punting and settling for field goal. So for me, when I seen blown games last year, I know it's not last season, but these are important things to me in the game. This league is predominantly an offensive league. I know a lot of people play defense. They may not like it, but all the rules are geared towards you being able to score. They're geared towards it. Stuff that receivers could do now that they couldn't do in the past. You even got the gloves that's in their favor as far as right? You got the gloves that's in their favor. You got to let them, they could catch the ball, they jump in the air, you got to let them land. You can't hit the defenseless guy. This year they eliminated the I forget what they called the tackle where they kind of
horse collar.
No, not the horse collar, the tackle where you ride them down.
Like the rugby, the kind of rugby style.
They eliminate that tackle, so that's going to affect some guys where they may not even chase a guy, or they went to go to grab him and let him go because they think they're going to get called for that penalty. Because you see guys sometimes that have a quarterback and they're about to sack him, and they let him go because they think they're going to get
him a call.
They're going to get called, or they think it's going to be whistle dead in the grass, but it's not. And then the guy kind of spin out of it. But
we've been here for 5 years, and I cannot believe that through this whole broadcast, we didn't use that one word that's synonymous with us, and we're about to do it. They say defenses win championships, but I have a caveat. Offense is what 3-point basketball is now. You ever seen now, like offenses, like with basketball, 3-point plays are set pieces now. I remember with 3-point plays, you didn't see them that much on the football side. You got squads right now that's doing like type of run and shoot type offenses, whereas they going up in like the first quarter, the second quarter, and it's a lot of time on the clock. And some of them are running 2-minute offenses. Yeah, it's changed. It's changed, man.
Yeah, I think it's called a hip toss.
Hip toss. Yeah, it's hip toss. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and to your point, Nardo, about staying on attack, like that's what I love about the Chiefs. Like, I mean, if Mahomes see like one-on-one coverage, he in man coverage, and he see he got a guy, he gonna go for it. You know, like it don't matter what time of the game it is. So, I mean, you know, hopefully that's the kind of mentality that Caleb will have. Like, we got to stay on attack. You know, score as many points as you can, because to your point, I mean, how many? You know, we lost games where we were ahead that we should have won. But you know, we start playing not to lose instead of playing to win. I mean, that's a cliche, but it's true. When you start doing that, I mean, that's how you lose games. You know, people creep up on you. Before you know it, you get a turnover, a pick six, all of a sudden the other team back in the game. And you know, and they need to stay on attack. I just hope that, you know, this is going to be one of those type of offenses that we can compare, you know, to similar to the Chiefs and some of these other, you know, explosive offenses will have all these tools, like the Dolphins. I mean, they got the receiver crew they got. Man, come on, man. Look how much track speed they got on that team, man. I mean, and them dudes catch the football, though. I mean, you know, you know, you go back in the 80s, we had Willie Goff. We were like, woo, you know, but, man, shoot, man, you know, these guys, Cheetah, man, you talking about super speed, right? And then you got Scott, which I hope, you know, I know he had a hard time catching the ball. I hope they use him in some way. I think he'll probably be a better receiver this year. I mean, you know, we shouldn't be throwing to this guy in the fourth quarter trying to make a play. I mean, he wasn't ready for that. You know, we didn't have a guy, though, other than DJ Moore. They doubled him. Who we going to throw the ball to? You know, so this year he won't have to do that. So hopefully he'll become a better receiver. So I'm gonna keep an eye on Scott. I mean, the dude got speed for sure. He can stretch the field, no doubt. I mean, we'll see what he can do. I know Plank. I know you don't got no faith in him, dog. Like you said, dude was hands all over the place. All right.
Well, I mean, part of his job description is receiver. Yeah, you know, that's the same thing. Like
do that, right?
Right. I mean, and that's the thing. Like with Velus Jones, your job description is receiver. That means catch the ball, take care of the ball, protect the ball.
Damn ball.
I just the visual of this dude falling in the end zone and the ball hitting him in the chest will not leave my visual.
Yeah,
right. I just can't see how you do that as an NFL pro receiver. I mean, the only thing I can think of is that the dude is like 75 years old out there playing with these young dudes. You know, that's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah. Quick. I totally agree with you. And you even had like Darnell Mooney, who kind of quit to me.
Yeah.
Mid-season, he kind of quit. You know, there's various reasons why a player could quit, right? But I'm gonna say this: your quarterback has to be able to read the whole field, because that's frustrating to the receivers if they think they're not getting the ball. Now, there's no excuses if you're dropping the ball and all that stuff, right?
Right.
But if a receiver feel like he's not being targeted because the quarterback is only taking one read, that is frustrating. I mean, just like every receiver wants the ball, like every running back, he's mad when they throwing it, right? He wants to run the ball, but that's why I want my players to be. I want my players hungry. I want my players to want the ball. I want my players to be winners. I want my players to be excited for their teammates as well. But I don't want my players choking either. What I did see, I hope we don't carry into this year, is those moments late in games. You know, choking becomes a culture, which a great example of that was Detroit Lions. Historically, Detroit is a franchise that always choked. And last year, they overcame that history of choking. Detroit was the type of team that they would have a game won. You could go back to like maybe whatever, some catches at the end of a game that end up being a drop pass because of them doing some stuff, right? They just always been that franchise that kind of choked away moments, right? They even tried to choke away a moment last year with an overtime play, right?
But I will say this though, Nardo, it came back to get them. It came back to get them in the championship game because they had the lead on the 49ers, and they should have won that game. So I agree with you though, Nardo. You're right. But man, it came back to get them again, boy. They went back to the old ways.
But what we can agree to disagree on, the one reason why, I mean, even with the as they say, the faux pas did against the 49ers, they changed their whole culture.
Yeah,
because now guys are walking through the door instead of saying, oh, well, we're going to try to do this. We hope to win. That team, that Detroit team, what I saw from a North guy is when they walked into games, they expected to win those games. And it was
for sure,
man. Yeah. It changed. He changed the culture that now they lost the 49ers, and that's just the fact that the other team's culture has been changed a little longer. They were more effective. But I like what they did, and I hope that we can do that. Like, for example, you were talking about different ones about quarterback can't read. That's why I'm really big on diva wide receivers, because if a quarterback is messing up and that diva's wide open, he'll come up in his face, yo, man, such and such a da-da-da-da-da, and maybe snap him out of it. But by the same token, with what we had in our guy or whatever it is, whose name I'm not going to say anymore because he's not here anymore, the culture's going to change. I think it's going to be a whole different set of circumstances. We'll see. We got a guy now that I think that can really make quick decisions. You know,
yeah, and to your point, guy, we don't have those receivers though. Those aren't the guys we have. This, you know, I know you know this, but
yeah,
you know, DJ Moore ain't that dude. He ain't gonna come crying for that football. You know, they're not. I mean, you know, these are professionals. They just not. You know, I know what you're saying,
but we don't need them now. You know,
yeah. I mean, these guys are. They just gonna go do their job. I mean, and like what's that? They said the race to 1,000, right?
Yeah,
they got that race to 1,000. I mean, that alone is going to propel these guys because they all. I mean, you talking about real competition now. You talking about real competition. You got a veteran, you know, who's going to be out there with DJ Moore, who's also a veteran. But I mean, you got a Doomsday, like he got something to prove. You like shit. I'm in this game too. Hey, you know, because he's the future of the Bears wide receiver. I mean, he's their future number one receiver, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
So he's gonna go for that 1,000 too, man. I'm telling you, we got so. I mean, the potential for this team is unbelievable.
When was the last time we had that though, Bernard? When was the last time we got 3 receivers racing to 1,000 and we buying in? I mean,
you know what? I know you. I can't say enough about Rome. I mean, I hope he lives up to what I saw in college, and I know
me too. No, me too, bro.
But you know, some of the things I saw from Rome that I know we got to wrap up is Rome's ability to locate the ball in the air. And for a college player that you could throw those back shoulder fades to, come on, man. Come on. A lot of guys in college cannot throw back shoulder. And quarterback at one point, a lot of quarterbacks in college can't throw the throws. But the fact that he was catching back shoulder throws in college and understanding the route that much and knowing when to break that route back, right? And knowing that ball is in the air. I mean,
but that's that confidence. That's that confidence, Nardo, that if I'm the quarterback, you the receiver, I trust you enough. Hey, man, give me a shot. Yeah. I mean, like, I'm 1-on-1 with this dude. Throw the fucking ball over here, and I'll go get it. And that's it. You know, I think that's the kind of rapport that they're going to have with each other. It's going to be like, hey, man, throw the ball up. I'll go get it. I ain't going to make you look bad, dude. Throw the ball up. You know, and like you said, Nardo, I'm telling you, I watched him in Washington, man. I swear, I would stay up late just to watch that Washington.
I did too.
You know, hey, Nardo, man, I'll be ready to go to sleep, dog. I swear, bruh, I was ready to go to sleep, and I'll be sitting up there, man, watching Oregon, watching Washington. But I'm like, I just, and he wasn't the only receiver on Washington's team that I like. It was a couple other good receivers other than him. But I mean, he just showed that he can do it. I think he's going. I don't think he's gonna let us down, Nardo. I don't think so, bro.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think
No.
with the receivers that we got this year, it's going to make the defensive players, the defensive backs that are guarding them, have to be much smarter.
Yeah.
If I'm playing DB, I'm looking at the receiver's eyes. I'm mirroring him, and when he looks up for the ball, I look up for the ball. If you got a receiver that's brilliant, that looks up at the last second when he's expecting the ball to get there, that cuts down your reaction time. You don't know what's going on. So if you're starting to do things like that, the whole receiver group can elevate the entire team just by playing smarter and just by the way they're running their routes.
Who you gonna double?
Okay. Yeah, you know what? Let's get ready to wrap up for the evening. Hey, I'm excited about this Hall of Fame game. I know it's a preseason game, but hey, I want to see it. And also, I know we have been talking about doing a show on your top 5 running backs of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Top 5? We need at least 10, don't we?
Yeah, we do need 10. Man, we do.
You know, man. You know what? Real quick, man. Give me your number 5. I mean, let's just give me who you have at number 5.
Running back?
Yeah, running back. Just like your 5. You ain't getting no explanation. We're gonna have a whole show on this, but who's your 5, Bird?
All right, so number 5 for me, gotta be. Well, I'll say Emmitt Smith. Now, I like Emmitt, but I think he was a product of the Dallas Cowboys offensive line, so I'm gonna put him down at 5 for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else got a what you got, guy?
LaDainian Tomlinson is my 5.
That's what I was gonna say too. I was gonna say LaDainian was my 5.
Emmitt's not even in my top 5.
Yeah.
No disrespect to him, he did that, but he, like you said, he was a product of what he had.
I agree. That's why I put him at 5. Yeah, I'm with you. He can easily be 6, 7, or 8 too, though.
At 5?
Yeah.
5? Like 5th? 1, 2, 3, 4.
5.
I think for me, I think my top 5, my 5th running back on my list will probably be Eric Dixon.
Ooh, that's a good choice.
That would probably be my 5.
That's
My 5
that's
dog would be Eric Dixon.
Eric Dickinson. Right.
Yeah.
What about you, Plank?
Man, we started getting into that. I like that dude from Indianapolis, and it was the part of the greatest show on turf. I can't think of his name now because
Marshall Faulk. Marshall Faulk.
Marshall Faulk.
Yeah.
Brother Faulk.
He can run and he can catch, so he was just as good as a receiver as he was running the ball. So I got to take that away.
Okay.
My 5 is old school because
Yeah.
you still got to put Barry, Walter,
Walton,
Jim Brown.
Jim Brown,
So
yeah.
there ain't a lot of spaces for no new age
like I
cat.
said, man, let's go and do that show before the Hall of Fame game if we can, and just talk about our top 5, man. Then we do a whole show on.
Oh,
our
yeah, I
top
love
5,
that.
right? You can give 10 people, right? Because we could kind of run through the list, but but that
Yeah.
5 to see who everybody's 5 is, man. I think
Right.
it's interesting, right?
Heck yeah, man. You've got Earl Campbell, Tony Dorsett.
Yeah, that's what I'm like, man, my top 5 is old school, man. I mean, you got Barry Sanders, Walter Payton, and Jim Brown.
Jim Brown, that's the trio. That's my trio.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those are my 3. That's my trinity right there.
Yeah. I mean, you still got cats like Earl Campbell. You got dudes. I mean, there's some guys that play running.
You got some guys that once you start talking about them, you like,
You
man,
like,
I forgot about that guy.
And
no juice either. No OJ.
And no straight talent, man. You can't forget Bo. Just on talent alone.
Yeah, both.
I mean, injury. If Bo never got injured the way he did, come on, man.
He'd be top 5 easy.
Terrell Davis, if that's the case. Same thing.
Terrell Davis.
Hey, who blocked for Terrell Davis?
Hey, look how much higher than
Junior
Marcus
got my
Allen. Look how much higher Marcus Allen would have been on the list if he hadn't got benched for 3 years. He got benched for 3 years, and still is what I think he's in the top 12 or something all time.
Yeah.
He was 49 years old.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I think Felicia Broussard benched him too now. I don't know.
Hey,
but
this
it's-
guy they don't like to talk about. They don't like to talk about because of everything that happened. They just forgot about OJ.
The juice. The
That's
juice
true.
is loose.
Problem on the football field, though. Let me let you know.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
a problem in some other areas too.
That's a
He was-
different problem, though.
Yeah, he was a problem.
It was a dilemma.
Thank
Man.
everybody for tuning in tonight with Bears Banner Talk Show, and thank Dave Bird for sitting in with us tonight. Man, I know we have been trying to make this happen, and Guy would keep putting it in my ear. Guy would keep saying, "Man, we're gonna bring Bird on here to talk
I know.
Bears."
I told him about the cookout, man. I was like, we got to get you
that's
back,
right,
man.
That's right. Hey, I
get
appreciate.
Bird on tonight.
Hey, man, I love talking Bears with y'all, brothers, man, because you guys, I mean, talking intelligent, football, man, which is great. And we ain't no meatheads. We ain't sitting up there, like we understand the game. I mean, but we love them Bears, though, man. That's for sure. I watch them. I tell my mom, like, why you watching the Bears? You know they're going to lose. Mom's like, hey, I'm watching the Bears no matter what happens. I'm with them.
Yep. Hey, we really appreciate you coming on. I mean, for those who don't know, Dave is the chief of police, DeKalb, and we appreciate the work that you do. I mean,
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
he do some. I mean, even when I see his video, Dave cares about the community. Even when he's with the state troopers, he cares about the community.
Yep.
He's always doing something for the average citizen. And and to be able to take time to come on here, man, just some leisure talk. So, Bird, you're welcome to come back, man, as much as you want this season.
Oh,
all right?
I love it, brother. Thank y'all for having me, bros. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all much love, man. You guys, people don't know this, but these are my mentors. These are guys I grew up under, man, and they taught me a lot. So I wouldn't be the person I am without you, Captain. The old guys,
Some of them old guys. Yeah.
Hey, thank y'all, and see y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.
Oh, that finger was bent a little too much.
Hey, that's just like OJ slicing up the defense, baby.
Only